Liz Crosby here with another yoga flow. Today we're going over Mars, fourth planet from the sun, second smallest after Mercury, associated with Mars, the god of war. This planet is very, very powerful to know all about, and it will definitely affect you when it goes retrograde, because of course it gets a little bit closer and it amplifies the energy of that planetary body. This planet is associated with the masculine energy in our fields of consciousness, which, ladies, we have masculine energy too, and we need to learn how to work with it so that we can conduct the Kundalini energy up through the central axis. The actual planet appears a slight hue of red, which is predominantly because of the heavy iron content in the soil of the planetary body. So iron also being the element associated with Mars. And of course, iron was used to create all sorts of weaponry because it is not penetrable and it is not very permeable, right? It doesn't yield. And so this also goes very much hand in hand with the energy of Mars. It is very assertive and it will be forceful at times in order to achieve and attain its goals. So really excited to delve into Mars with you today, and we'll explore the energetic ramifications and how the energy that is emitted from this planet affects us in the alchemical process, your ongoing practice. Let's get flowing. Beginning today in Vajrasana, broken toe pose. If this pose is too intense for you, feel free to take a comfortable seated position. But if you are brave and courageous enough to sit in the suffering pose, then manually tuck those pinky toes, make sure that those guys are joining in on the party. And then, of course, find your bandhas firm the pelvic floor, find a neutral pelvic bowl, draw the foot and ribs together, and sweep the hands out enough. Interlace all the fingers except the index finger and thumb. Much like the sign of Mars, we're going to make a literal spear with our bodies and send the energy straight out through crown. Inhale deeply through the nose, open the mouth, and pant like a dog. Take that up into your nose. And inhale deeply. Exhale, side out the mouth. Pause for a few moments, notice the effects. And Mars is associated with the root chakra, naturally the red planet, and the red chakra. Walk the hands forward, untuck the toes, gentle drum roll. So of course, opening up the feet so that we can engage Pada Bandha, windshield wiper the heels. Fingertips point towards your knees and lean your weight back. Slowly peeling the heels of the hands up off of the mat. Of course, we may make our hands our foundation, so getting the hands ready to receive rooting and rebounding forces, and walking the hands back. Lift your knees up, lifting up on top of the bridges of the feet. Maybe lift up on top of the toe knuckles. Alright, so those outermost extremities are ready to release energy as we purge, but also able to ground and connect down through our foundation. Walking the hands forward, back into your tabletop pose. Inhale as you melt the heart forward and up, sit bones reach up, gaze up. And exhale to round, gaze at the navel. Inhale as you peel the chest forward and up. And exhale to round. Take it into your bear pose. Hip circles, shoulder circles, whatever feels good in the spine. I mean, it's really trendy now for the spiritual community to say that a man in a relationship should hold space for the girlfriend or the female figure. We really want to do that for ourselves too. I mean, maybe yes, in a relationship as well, but definitely we want to be able to hold space for ourselves so that we can access space and share the life force energy. Walk the knees back, walk the hands forward, melt the heart down towards the mat. Re-extend the sit bones up towards the ceiling. And again, force sometimes has such a negative connotation in our modern day language, linguistics, but we are literally working with various trajectories, directionalities, and sending energy from our power center. So this is redirected force inwards so that we can expand consciousness and share the oxygenated blood flow. And of course, our blood has iron in it. Rolling the spine forward into your Sphinx pose. Hips to mat. Broaden across the collarbones. Drop right ear towards right shoulder. Let chin hold your chest. Left ear, left shoulder. Breathing into your cervical spine. Back through the center. Walk the hands to the outer edges of the mat. Lift up onto your fingertips. Spread the elbows wide. Lift your chest up. Drop the right shoulder, gaze over your left. Inhale through center. Exhale to twist. Moving from side to side, pausing wherever you feel a good stretching sensation. Deep Ujjayi breaths. And much like Aries, Mars energy can be very confrontational, impulsive. Back through the center as you inhale. And exhale, slowly release it back down. Quick review from our alchemical processes and zodiac sign series. Interlace the fingers, massage your sacrum with your knuckles. Aries is calcination, so our ability to share life force energy is preceded by burning away the impurities with the fire of solar plexus first. Reach the arms back. Reach out for the feet. Spiral the inner thighs up towards the ceiling. Tuck the chin and re-extend up the crown. So again, taking inwards this tenacity, this tendency to want to start a fight is actually a good thing, right? As we are literally expanding into new space and illuminating our darkness. Releasing the interlace, hands like underneath the shoulders. Add the strength of the arms, press up, lift up, wrap elbows in, roll shoulders back. Puff chest, broaden across the collarbones. And tuck the toes, hips rise up and back, downward facing dog pose. Walk it out, bending one knee and then the other. Allow the hips to shift from side to side. And making your way back into stillness. Walk the feet to the outer edges of the mat. Walk the hands back halfway. Right hand plants. Center of the mat. Thread the left arm through, catch the right ankle, and gently take a twist. Bringing the spine out of toxins, deep Ujjayi breaths. And switch. Left hand plants, thread the right arm through, catch your left ankle, and gently take a twist. Twists are like a shield for your spine. And they do massage the inner vertebral discs, but as long as you bring awareness to the muscle engagements surrounding the vertebral column, you can find a nice sheath of protection surrounding your spinal column. Love getting them in early on. And then gently release. Walk the hands back out into your downward facing, hands shoulder distance, feet hips distance. Right leg extends up and back. Open it out, bend the knee, and take some hip circles, ankle circles. Inviting synovial fluid into the right hip socket. Extend the right leg up and back. Exhale, right knee to right tricep and forward into your plank pose. From navel to spine. Inhale to extend. Exhale, right knee, left tricep. Inhale to extend. Exhaling knee to nose. Round upper spine, gently step the right foot between the palms. Left knee lowers. Untuck the toes. Scissor thighs together. Inhale as you rise up, low crescent pose. Expand across the heart center, broaden across the collarbones. Exhale, the hands come back down to the mat, straight through your right leg, come onto the heel of the right foot, reach the toes back towards your face. You can tilt the foot from side to side, breathing into the hamstrings. All these sensations opening up to receive. Tilt the foot to the right, walk the hands to the right. Gonna be lots of twists in this practice today and probably lots of core work. Again, because we need to activate solar plexus to ground down through our foundation. Back through to center, rebending in the right knee. Tuck the left toes, lift the left knee up. Scissor the thighs together. Inhale as you rise up into your low crescent pose or high crescent pose. Little bend in the left knee is fine to allow for a nice neutral spine. Right? If you straighten through that leg prematurely, it might dump your pelvic bowl forward. A gross exaggeration here. Arms open out to a T. Twist to your right, lower the left knee down to hover. Straighten and lift both arms up, extend. Open it out, twist. Straighten and lift. Once more, open, twist. Now right hand reaches towards left thigh, extend left arm towards the sky. Lengthen through the left side body, breathe into your left side body. Left hand to the instep of the right foot. Right arm sweeps up, open-hearted crescent. Rotate onto the outer edges of both your feet. Let your left hip dip. Right hand to the right knee. Ease into the outer hip stretch. So it's nice to have a strength building flow every once in a while so that you can protect all the flexibility that you create, right? Why would these cultures engage in warfare, in battle, to protect the civilization that they worked so hard to create, right? So to protect Venus. And Venus is said to have actually started some wars too, so there is that interconnectivity, right? Start to lift it back up again. Lift. And then lower. Lift. And lower, maybe. Slide the right foot on top of the left. Lift up into your side plank. You can lower knee, you can lower forearm. Lift. And lower. Lift. And lower. Once more to lift. Right foot can step back behind. Press down through both feet. Lift the hips up for your wild thing. And now step. If you can, try not to use the right hand. Step the right foot all the way to the front of the mat. Now from here, bend and straighten through the right leg. Just kind of opening up the lower half of the body. And extend the left leg straight up, either supported warrior three or standing splits. Right hand can come behind the right ankle, draw forehead towards shin. We extend the left heel up towards the ceiling. Now kick the left foot through. If you want to, yogis, feel free to take it all the way up, handstanders. This is why I love incorporating handstand, is it will build the central core strength surrounding the spinal column. Again, like a sheath or a shield of protection. And then slowly bending in the right knee, right heel towards right seat, left foot comes forward. Slowly lower. Pistol squat. And then gently take a seat. Float both feet. Navasana, boat pose. Inhale as you lower. Exhales to lift. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Lower and hold. Here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hug the knees in. Start to take some rocks. We're going to actually rock up into the pistol squat. So right knee can stay bent. Left leg stay straight. Rock up, catch your left foot. And from here, sweep that left leg up and back. Standing splits. Draw forehead towards shin. We extend the left heel up towards the ceiling. You could just step that left foot way back or hands planted. Scoot right foot back. Take it up, handstanders. Connect the legs together at the top. Squeeze the legs together. Reach out to the balls of the feet. And then slowly lower. Right foot can toe tap the right wrist. Left foot steps way back. Extend the outer edge of that left foot down, lift the inner edge up, inhale, rise up, warrior one, both arms sweep up, expand across the heart center. Hands come behind the back, interlace, broaden across the collarbones as you inhale. Exhale, hinge from the hips, lead with heart as right shoulder passes right knee. Then begin to round, lengthen the whole spine, up and out of the pelvic bowl, breathe into your lower back. Beautiful, grounding down to lift up, roll the spine up, both arms, sweep up, warrior one. And open it out, warrior two, adjust the stance. Heel to arch alignment, bend deeply into that right knee, relax the shoulders. Re-extend energetically out through fingertips. Now flip the right palm and reverse your warrior. Left hand to thigh or calf, lengthen through the right side body. Breathe into the right side body. Inhale as you rise. Right elbow, right thigh, left arm extends forward. Extended side angle. Maybe left hand reaches back. Behind for the right thigh, half bind. Right hand can come to the instep of the right foot. There is a full bind. Full binders, feel free to take flight. Left foot can step forward. Press up, lift up, root to rise. Bird of paradise. Gazing at a single point of focus, your drishti. Straighten through standing and then straighten through lifting. Send in breath, send in ujjayi. And slowly lower birds. Pressing down through the right foot, shift weight forward into crown, left leg extends back. Bound half moon pose on your way back. And stepping it way back. Release the bind, rise, warrior two. From warrior two, flip the right palm, reverse your warrior, lengthen through the right side body. Windmill both hands back down to the mat. And now bend deeply into your left knee, straighten through your right leg, Skandasana. Left arm forward and in front of the left shin. Right arm extends up until you rotate both arms, bend the elbows, reach back for fingertips or wrist. Catch the bind. And then gently release. Right hand can catch your left shin. Nuzzle that right shoulder up against the right knee. Left arm sweeps up and overhead. Catch the outer edge of your right foot. Deep ujjayi breaths. Amazing. And then releasing. Rise it back up again. Press down through both feet. Help yourself up if you need to. Rise back up, warrior two. Windmill, leading with the left arm. Now straighten through your right leg. Heel to left foot forward. Shorten the stance. Deepen in the right hip crease, extend the arm forward, reach. Right hand to ankle, shin forward, left arm extends up and twist. From the navel as you twist, gaze at the left fingertips. Deep ujjayi breaths. So I think oftentimes, and when Mars goes retrograde, everybody gets kind of easily irritable, easily triggered. And I think that the reason for that is left hand comes down to the mat, scoop the left foot forward to the left. We do live in a patriarchal system, so more often than not, in everybody's mind, body, nature sees, we are carrying just within the fabric of our beings an overabundance of masculine energy, and a lot of it is in the wrong places, so it's not actually useful for conducting kundalini energy. Plug the right femur head bone into the right hip socket, float the right foot off of the mat just an inch. And so when the masculine energy is out of sorts and it's not being utilized to conduct kundalini energy up the spine, it can cause aggravation and even make people anger easily or become irate. Right foot steps back down, walk the hands to the right. Lengthen the spine, now the pelvic bowl. Breathe into your lower back. Left hand can plant outer edge of the right foot. Right hand to your sacrum. Level off the pelvic bowl, roll the right shoulder back. Right arm can extend up and twist. From the navel and as you twist, gaze is at the right fingertips. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, gently bend the right knee, lean leg forward, float left leg up, Pavrita Ardha Chandrasana. Maybe bend left knee, reach back with the right hand for your left foot. Kick the foot into the hand, center the heart forward towards the front of the room. So again, it's more of a misuse of our masculine energy. And even when we use iron, we don't use it in its natural state because it's rusty. Gently release. We extend the left leg back, so it needs to be purified before we can utilize it. Right hand to mat, roll your left hip to stack, left arm can extend up half moon. Maybe bend left knee, reach back with the left hand for your left foot. Kick the foot into the hand. Slingshot the heart forward towards the front of the room. Beautiful work, yogis. And then gently release. We extend the left leg back. With grace and ease, step it back, warrior two. Settle in. Flip the right palm. Reverse your warrior. Lengthen through the right side body. Breathe into your right side body. And bring the hands down to the mat. From here, again, lift that left heel up. Left hand plants in. Step right foot, right arm sweeps up. Open-hearted crescent. Rotates the outer edges of both feet. Again, let the left hip dip. You can reach that right hand back behind. Enjoy. Press it up, lift it up. Not going to make you do core work this time. You can step the right foot on top of the left. Maybe float a tree. Right foot can step back behind. Press down through both feet. Lift the hips up. So we need to send a certain amount of force straight down through our foundation in order to blow out all of these expressions, all of these shapes. Roll it back into your downward facing. And vinyasa if it's pleasing. Lift the heels. Bend the knees. Roll the spine forward into your plank pose. As you inhale, exhale, lower out the chaturanga, hug the elbows in. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Hips rise up and back. Downward facing dog pose. From downward facing, left leg extends up and back. Open it out, bend the knee, take some hip circles. Ankle circles. And re-extending the left leg up and back. Exhale, left knee to left tricep, and forward into your plank pose from navel to spine. Virabhadrasana. Inhale to extend. Push out through the heel. Exhale, left knee to right tricep, from navel to spine. Inhale to extend. Push out through the heel. Exhaling, knee to nose, round and upper spine. Gently step the left foot between the palms. Right knee lowers. Untuck toes, sweep arms up, low crescent pose. Expand across the heart center and broaden across the collarbones. Hands come down to the mat. As you exhale, straighten your left leg, come off the heel of the left foot. Reach the toes back towards your face, and again you can tilt the foot from side to side. Breathing into the hamstrings. Any sensations opening up to receive. Tilt the foot to the left. Walk the hands to the left. So I do believe that both Mars and Venus have some forgiving to do on both sides. Right, the feminine, sometimes it can use the magnetism and the attraction for self-seeking gain. And on the flip side, the masculine can use the forcefulness and that power dynamic also for self-seeking gain. So again, finding this compatibility and this equality within ourselves. And it's amazing too. I really truly believe that as we start to find this equality within, we'll start to see the equality without. Who knows? We might actually see, as humanity begins to actively participate in its evolution again, a complete elimination of things like sexism. Walk the hands back through the center. Wouldn't that be awesome? Rebend the left knee, tuck the right toes, lift the right knee up, scissor thighs together. Inhale as you rise up. High crescent pose. Get a little bend in the right knee spine to prevent from any dumping in the lower spine. Scissor the thighs together. It's kind of like your legs are doing war with each other. Arms out to a T. Twist to the left, lower right knee down to hover. And then straighten through both legs. Open it out, twist. Straighten. Open it out, twist. Now left hand reaches back towards right thigh, extend right arm up towards the sky. Lengthen through the right side body, breathe into your right side body. Right hand windmills down. Instep of left foot. Left arm sweeps up. Twist the spine open. Gaze is at the left fingertips. Now rotate onto the outer edges of both feet and let the right hip dip. Left hand can come to the left knee. Lift up out of the right shoulder to intensify. Send in breath, send in energy. Amazing, and then when you're ready, start to lift it back up again. You can keep the left foot grounded, and I'll show you a couple variations with that. So lifting up, keeping that left leg grounded. Again, maybe left foot comes on top of the right. You can do forward and in front as well. You can also lower forearm. Modify as needed. So I think sometimes when we go about the reconstruction of the masculine aspect, the mind is so easy to think, oh, I just can't do it. Don't believe that. And find the baby step. Find that little tiny variation, modification that you can take that will make it accessible. And then float a tree, left foot can step back behind you, push down through both feet, lift the hips up. I have my theories as to why the yoga practice, again, it is a patriarchal system, so why isn't the yoga practice in the West predominantly masculine aspect? Try not to use the left hand, step the left foot all the way to the front of the mat. I think Indra Devi experienced a tremendous amount of success. Again, you can bend and straighten through the left leg. She studied directly under Krishnamacharya, who's a Scorpio, by the way, so also a Mars ruled sign. And she brought yoga across the pond, across the Pacific, to the Hollywood starlets. And so there's pretty popular, the images of Marilyn Monroe and Audrey Hepburn practicing yoga. Lean into your left foot, right leg can sweep up, either standing splits or take it into a supported warrior three. And so it became predominantly a female endeavor. And therefore I think we have this ongoing misnomer in our culture that you go to yoga to get flexible. When in reality, you can go to yoga, and you should also go to yoga to build strength, central core strength, to provide infrastructure for all of that flexibility. Maybe kick it through, pistol squat, handstanders, take it up. Connect the legs together at the top, squeeze the legs together at the top, reach out through the balls of the feet. Right, probably the most phallic posture in yoga right here. Handstand. One straight line. Bending in the left knee, left heel towards left seat, butt back, foot forward. Figure 7. And then slowly lower. Pistol squat. All right. And gently release. Take a seat. And float both feet. Now, that's not to say that women aren't also strong, but of late I think a lot of women have taken on some of the distorted masculine energy of our patriarchal system, which again can actually block Kundalini energy instead of aiding in its conductivity. Inhales, you slowly lower. Exhales to lift. Inhales to slowly lower. Exhales to lift. Inhale to lower, hold here for 5. This is why it's so important to be aware for Jnana Yoga, the universal laws, hermetic principles, the Yoga Sutras. 3, so that we know what we're doing and we have an intention behind our practice. 2, and 1. Hug the knees in, start 6 and box. Again, bend the left knee, right leg stays straight. Rock up and plant down through your left foot. catch the right foot. All right, from here, sweep that right leg up and back. Meet me back in your standing splits or supported warrior 3. And again, you could just step the right foot way back, or hands plant, middle fingers in line, thumbs in line. Lean weight into your knee foundation. Push the floor away. Connect the legs together at the top. Squeeze the legs together, reach out to the balls of the feet. Every handstand is an opportunity to learn how to connect to your deep central core muscles, which again will protect your spinal column. Slowly lower that left foot back down, like a shield. Left foot can toe tap the left wrist. Right foot steps way back. Seal the outer edge of the right foot down with the inner arch up. Inhale to rise up. Warrior 1. Both arms sweep up. Hands come behind the back. Interlace, broaden across the collarbones as you inhale. And exhale to hinge from the hips. Leave it the heart as left shoulder passes left knee, then begin to round. Lengthen the whole spine up now, the pelvic bowl. Breathe into your lower back. And then grounding down to lift up. Roll the spine up. Both arms sweep up, warrior 1. Opening out warrior 2, adjust the stance. Build to arch alignment. Flip the left palm and reverse it. Right hand to their calf. Lengthen through the left side body. Breathe into your left side body. Inhale as you rise. Left elbow, left thigh. Right arm extends forward. Right hand can reach back behind to catch the left thigh, half bind. Left hand instep of the left foot. There is a full bind. Full binders. Take flight. Right foot can step forward. Press up, lift up, reach your eyes. Bird of paradise. Gazing at a single point of focus, your drishti. Straighten through standing and then straighten through lifting. Send in breath, send in your jai. Slowly lower birds. Pressing down through the left foot. Shift weight forward into crown, right leg extends back. Bound half moon pose on your way back. And then stepping it way back, release the bind, rise, and warrior 2. Settle in. Again, you go to skip all of that and stay in side angle. Flip the left palm, reverse your warrior. Windmill the hands down to the mat. Bend deeply into your right knee. Straighten through your left leg, Skandasana. Actually, Skandasana is associated with Mars, by the way, right? It's considered Skand is affiliated with the sun, and just as Mars is the son of Zeus, right, or Jupiter, right arm can sweep forward and in front of the shin, and in the Roman pantheon, bending the elbows, reach back with fingertips or wrist, bind it. Beautiful. Gently release. Left hand can catch the right shin. Nuzzle your left shoulder up against your left knee. Right arm extends up and overhead. Right, again, this idea of the masculine energy paving the way so that we can share the life force energy. And then gently release. I love how the Skandasana variations kind of do remind me of bow and arrow, right? So press it up and lift it up. Also again, the mark of war. Rise back up, warrior 2. Then straighten through your left leg. Heel to right foot in. Shorten the stance. Deepen in the left hip crease. Extend the left arm forward, reach. Left hand to ankle shin floor. Right arm extends up and twist. Firm the navel as you twist. Gaze is at the right fingertips. Right hand comes down to the mat. Scoot the right foot forward into the right. Mars is actually heavily affiliated with all of the fire signs, by the way. So this is why all the fire signs have kind of a masculine aspect to them. And sometimes, yes, even the women do too. They might be a little bit more physical or have even more assertiveness. Lifting up onto the fingertips, plug the left finger head bone into the left hip socket and float the left foot off of the mat. And this is something I've been meaning to say to you about all the planetary bodies. And there's always like the detriment sign or the fall sign. I just think it's misunderstood. Left foot steps back down, walk the hands to the left. So I haven't mentioned it in the past 2 videos, but the fall sign is Cancer in association with Mars, because Cancer is just too lovey-dovey and too in its emotions, not very argumentative, not very assertive, not very confrontational. Right hand plants outer edge of the left foot, left hand to your sacrum, roll your left shoulder back. But again, there's something to be said about that, right? Can the masculine energy be passive instead of predominantly active all the time? Maybe there's something beneficial about that aspect that we haven't really gleaned, we haven't really extrapolated because of our cultural conditioning. Left arm extends up and twist. Maybe our ability to connect to our emotions could actually enhance our efforts on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Gently bending in the left knee, lean weight forward, press up, lift up, float the right leg up, Parvrita Ardha. Maybe bending in the right knee, reach back with the left hand for your right foot, kick the foot into the hand, slingshot the heart forward towards the front of the room. And then gently release. Re-extend the right leg back, left hand to mat, roll the right hip to stand, right arm extends up, half moon pose. Maybe bending in the right knee, reach back with the right hand for the right foot, kick the foot into the hand, slingshot the heart forward towards the front of the room. And then gently release, re-extend the right leg back. With grace and ease, step it back, warrior 2, settle in. Flip left palm, reverse your warrior, right hand to the calf, lengthen through the left side body. Windmill the hands down, right heel lifts. Left arm sweeps up, open-hearted crescent. And again, rotate onto the outer edge of the right foot. You can step the left foot on top. And of course, Mars is associated with the warrior cast. And Vashisthasa is actually named after an enlightened sage that was from the warrior caste. Float it up, maybe step it back. Press down through both feet. Lift the hips up wildly. This more Rajasic energy can be very beneficial. And then roll it back into your downward facing vinyasa if it's pleasing. Lift the heels, bend the knees. Roll the spine forward into your plank pose as you inhale. Exhaling through Chaturanga, hug the elbows in. Inhale into your Urdhva Mukha. Roll the shoulders back. Exhaling, roll over the toes. Hips rise up and back. Downward facing dog pose. From downward facing, walk the feet to the outer edges of the mat. Walk the hands back. And allow for a liberal bend in the knees and set it on down into your Navasana squat. Elbows, inner thighs, press the elbows into the inner thighs. All right, so again, a lot of this stuff is in your mind. And I love to trick people into finding the proper alignment, because when you're aligned, the energy travels much faster through the bone structure than it does through your muscles, which are soft tissue. They become a little bit firmer when they're engaged, but nonetheless, energy travels much faster through your bone structure. That being said, everybody is afraid to bring those hips up and over the shoulders. You can always cartwheel out, but I want you to try this Malasana squat at the top, because this is the spirit. This is the straight up and down energy. There's some depictions of the symbol from Mars. Instead of the spear off to the side, it's literally straight up. So we want to find that straight up and down energy. And honestly, You have the cross pointing downwards, and then you have the spear pointing upwards, the Mars and Venus, the different glyphs. And this is literally the yantra. You see this in the depiction of the yantras, right? The downward pointing triangles are the feminine, the female yoni, and the upward pointing triangles are the phallic, the masculine. So, and literally in our physical practice, it's about being right side up or upside down. And it does take this concentrated effort and energy, a little bit of force, right? We do want to send an energy current straight down in order to ride a standing still wave of energy back up. So as you do hop, make sure that you don't bend in the elbows, because that will deplete your energy source. You want to keep the arms straight so that you're working with these rooting and rebounding forces. And then think hips up. Malasana spot at the top, it's more globular, it's easier to find your center of mass directly over your foundation, okay? And again, you can get a little bit animalistic with it if you want, because again, Mars is associated with our bestial nature. So we, as yogis, as alchemists, we know, we understand that we can actually utilize the bestial nature to actually help us to expand consciousness. So instead of trying to repress it, we can actually utilize it. All right, so Malasana at the top of your tuck jump. Give it your best. And even if you just slow lower into Malasana at the front of the mat, that's a victory, right? You're learning how to send rooting and rebounding forces and how to work with that energy. You're becoming an energy worker. All right, here we go. Press it up, lift it up. So again, just took Malasana, you know you can do it. Plug the right femur head into the right hip socket, flip the right foot off of the mat just an inch. And then switch, left foot was just an inch. Beautiful. All right, both feet come together at the back of the mat. You can also, little cheat code, little trick, walk your hands in a little bit, shorten your down dog. Arms stay straight, continuously spiral the eyes, the elbows towards each other, plug the arms into the shoulder sockets, and again, push the floor away, but also plug those humerus head bones in to their respective shoulder sockets, shoulder joints. Lift your heels, bend your knees, coil up some potential energy in the legs. So again, revert back to that animalistic, bestial quality. Think you're gonna pounce on your prey, and your prey is right in between your thumbs. When you're ready, pounce. Let's see if you can find that Malasana at the top. And of course, maybe make it clap, just for fun. And slowly lower. You can bring the legs out wide. Maybe there's a toe tap. All right. Inhale as you feel the chest forward. Find some length, arch your spine. Exhale to forward fold. Chair pose, bending knees. Both arms sweep. Shift weight into the big toe mounds. Lift your heels up and slowly lower it down. Knees open wide, put your arms straight through, and gently take a seat. Float your feet. Knees can stay bent. All right, so you learn to love this stuff. Kind of always reminds me of Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm sure you guys have seen Pumping Iron. It feels like I'm coming all of the time. So again, you learn to love this manifestation, this creation of the strength aspect. And this is why I think Mars and Venus are also associated with sexual energy, because as you're creating, as you're manifesting, you're literally building this tower of Kundalini conductivity. Then you're able to feel the bliss that exudes, that emanates from your being. Okay, we're sitting in Navasana boat pose, Liz. What next? Stop going on the tirade. All right, we're gonna do a little bit of a fun boat ride. So you can do a normal boat ride if you want, but we're gonna switch things up a little bit. So inhale to extend. Exhales to lift. Knees to the right, hands to the left. Inhale to extend. Exhales to lift. Knees to the left, hands to the right. Inhale to extend. Exhales to lift. Back through center. Inhale to extend. Exhales to lift. Knees to the right, hands to the left. Inhale to extend. Exhales to lift. Knees to the left, hands to the right. Inhale to extend. Exhales to lift. Back through center, lower hold. Here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hug the knees in. Start to take some rocks forward and back. Feet will come wide, reach your arms through Malasana squat. Alright, yogis, so we are going on a little bit of a journey. Feel free to just step the left foot back. That is an option, though I would like you to try a crow pose. And this is another thing I think it might have to do with the origins of the yoga and interconnectivity. It's I don't want to say indoctrination, but it's introduction to the West. We do have this lapse in the masculine, which can actually cause repetitive stress injury over time. And so because there is an overabundance of feminine as we move through vinyasas, generally what tends to happen is the shoulders will hunch forward, and that can cause stress on the joints in the upper half, namely the shoulder, the elbow, and the wrist. So I highly recommend build the strength in crow pose. Again, it's a different type of bliss, right? You can think Arnold Schwarzenegger if you want, but you can feel that you're slowly building upon it. So maybe let's do it today. Let's do some Cosmo Push-Ups. So you can roll out the wrists a little bit before we get going, especially if you're practicing with me around a new moon. And then hands plant, knees come high up and in. Let's do some little push-ups. Slowly lower. And then lift. Lower. And lift. Lower, and this time set it down. Crown to ground, press up, lift it up. So yes, we are working on the pump, even through the cervical spine, building that strength, surrounding like a sheath, like a shield. And slowly lower. You can bend in the knees, heels towards your hips, butt back, knees forward. Knees come high up and in, press it up, lift it up, meet me back in your Bakasana. Now shift weight into the right shin, left leg extends back. Ekapada Bakasana, optional, optional, optional. Step the left foot way back, right foot steps between the palms. Inhale as you rise, high crescent pose, both arms sweep up. Alright, we're doing it. Hands can reach down by your sides as you pitch the heart forward. Keep your chest elevated above your right thigh. Launch yourself forward into your warrior. 3. Spiral the inner left back towards the ceiling. Push out through heel, reach out through crown. Now slowly come to rise. Draw your left knee into your chest. Right hand to your right hip. Left piece of fingers and thumb catch left big toe. Extend the left leg forward. Left knee can stay bent. Again, feel free to work with the bent knee. Open left leg out to the left, maybe grow a tree branch out to the right. Beautiful, back through to center. Reach across, right hand can catch outer to the knee or outer to the foot. Reach your left hand back and twist. From the navel as you twist, gaze us over your left shoulder, left fingertips. Beautiful work, back through the center. Interlace fingers around left sole of the foot. Slowly lower, pistol squatters, take it down. Alright, pistol squatters, when you're ready, rise up and lift it up. And remember, we can create strength throughout the whole mind-body matrix. I have no idea what the arm variation of that is. Release. Keep the foot floating, hands to hips or branches. Here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sweep your left leg back, warrior 3. And just for fun, again, think we're using our own body as a weight training system, so pumping the iron. Slowly lower. And then lift. Lower. And then lift. Beautiful. This time, bend and step the left foot way back. Both arms sweep up, high crescent pose. And exhale, the hands come down to the mat. Beautiful work, yogis. Walk the right foot over to the right. And you can take some little hip circles. Breathe into that space. And gently set the left knee down. Forearms can lower down to the ground. Ease into the hip stretch. Just a little bit of logistics. So Mars moves through each sign about 6 to 7 weeks. So like I said, there are the signs that are most renowned for being exemplary of Mars, those being Aries and Scorpio, also considered to be exalted in Capricorn. Right hand to right knee, gaze over the right shoulder. But there is something to be learned from each of the 12 houses, each of the 12 signs. If you're willing to pay attention, come onto the fleshy part of the left knee, bend the left knee, reach back with the right hand, feel the left foot, press heel towards seat. And of course, when it goes retrograde, then it really gets your attention. And it goes retrograde for quite a bit longer than the inner planets, because it is a little bit further out. Gently release, walk the right foot back through midline, straight through the right leg, half splits, full splits, slide right foot forward, walk left foot back. It goes retrograde about every 2 years. So, but it's still really good to know, because when it does go retrograde again, now you know, our culture is really not conducive for a graceful Mars retrograde. But I do believe that will change in the future as we learn how to balance out both the masculine and the feminine energies in our microcosms. So as of right now, people do tend to get a little bit irritated, a little bit agitated. So you can kind of keep that in the back of your mind so that when it does go retrograde, you know not to be that antagonistic person. When you're ready, rebend your right knee, walk the right foot behind your left wrist, and release the right knee behind the right wrist. Half pigeon pose, gaze back at the left leg and laying with the hip. Inhale as you find lengthen, exhale to forward fold it. Its orbit is also a little bit more independent, whereas Venus and Mercury are seen to kind of do this dance with the sun, and it's almost kind of like they're all playing tag in the night sky. We have the Mars orbit being a little bit more independent. It's kind of on its own trajectory, which is so classic of Aries, right? The Aries mantra being, I am, right? I am independent, I am that I am. So it's amazing how there is this exquisite interconnectivity between astronomy and then some of these more logistical factoids about the various aspects of the planets. Maybe consider that astronomy. Beautiful. We're giving these couple more deep Ujjayi breaths here. Those of you that would like to, I'm going to offer out an opportunity to take an arm balance here. If you'd like, feel free to skip it if it doesn't interest you. Again, the trick with the arm balances is it is an interplay of forces. So again, we are redirecting that energy inwards, and I think honestly, if we don't redirect that energy inwards, it comes out in weird ways. It's just the way that it goes with the universal laws that function and basically cause our whole relationship, energetic dynamic to orchestrate. So it's best to learn how to do this, how to reconstruct and how to redirect these energies inwards. Again, the battle is inside, and if we don't actually engage in the battle inside, then it starts to take place outside. So that being said, hopefully that's motivating enough. Right, also named after a sage, the ultimate warriors that were able to bring this energy inwards. Slide that left foot forward, right ankle stacks on top of your left thigh. Make a shelf with your left leg. You can bend the left knee. Figure four with the right leg. Hands plant. Make a shelf with your arms. Now, placing the right foot right up into the left armpit. Hard flex in the right foot. You might just start out like this, and don't overexert yourself with this one. Take your time. You might be here for a little bit, and then you lean weight forward, and then maybe that left foot floats up, and then maybe the left leg extends back. But again, just like Arnold Schwarzenegger, take your time, work your way up. Tuck the chin, crown to ground, float it up. He's a Leo, by the way. Leo also very much ruled by Mars because it's a fire sign. But just like you would at the gym, you wouldn't stack on a bunch of weights before you're ready for it, right? Right ankle comes on top of your left thigh. We kind of have to become a little bit more creative and have a little bit more finesse. Right shin comes high up and in towards the armpits. Use your left leg as kind of a crane lift, and then you can extend the left leg back, lean right back, press up, lift up. Back into Navasana. Set the left foot down, knee is back in. Your half pigeon. Forward-fold one more time just because it feels absolutely blissful. Oh, amazing. Beautiful work, yogis. And then start to walk the hands back in, pressing down through the palms. Tuck the back toes, engage your left thigh. We're gonna go there. Lift the left knee up, slide the right leg to the left, so the right hip down. Walk the hands over to your right. Left forearm lowers and gently twist, bringing the spine out of toxins. Deep ujjayi breaths. And gently release that. Right, again, the twists. They seem like a passive stretch. I really want to reaffirm that twists can actually be a source of strength if you bring your awareness to the musculature surrounding the vertebral column as you twist. Really crucial. And then it also will protect your spine when you twist in maybe standing postures too. Start to walk the hands back in. Hands plant, foot over your right hip. Press up, lift up, variation of plank. Left foot swings down, left arm extends to a left shoulder back. Maybe float that right foot up and pulse. Right? Getting your set here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can catch other edge, reach forward towards front of the room. Release, rebound right knee, left hand plants, sweep right leg up and back. Hip circles, ankle circles, maybe. Rotate onto the outer edge of the left foot, and in your right hand. Float a tree, yogi toe lock. Maybe right foot steps back behind if you're feeling it. Full Urdhva Dhanurasana. If you're like, I gotta get a little bit of that divine feminine in to counterbalance all this masculine I'm creating. Go for it. And then left hand points back towards midline. Roll it back into your downward facing. Vinyasa if it's pleasing, or skip it. Again, a vinyasa is pretty much like a push-up. So lift heels, bend knees, roll the spine forward. Inhale, plank. Same engagement as we do in our crow. Slowly lower, hug the elbows in. Inhale into your Urdhva Mukha. Roll the shoulders back. Exhale. Roll over toes. Hips rise up and back. Downward facing dog pose. Let the heart re-extend the sit bones. Again, we are making our way back up to the front of the mat. You can, if you would like, just step forward. I'm going to offer out an opportunity to take it up in a handstand if it pleases you. Again, you can walk the hands in a little bit closer to your feet. Right? Use the cheat codes. And then as you start to build familiarity, confidence, then you can start to take it a little bit longer in your stance. Plug right femur head bone into right hip socket. Quick Mula Bandha check. Switch. Plug left femur head bone into left hip socket. Float left foot off of the mat. All right. Again, go for the Malasana squat. Unless, of course, you've been practicing, then you can try the tuck and bring the legs together, but Malasana is way easier to balance in space. Spiral the eyes towards each other. Plug arms into shoulder sockets. Bend in the knees. And you can take a few kind of coiled up moments. Right? Envision a big jungle cat. Right? Give into that bestial nature. And then when you're ready, pouncing on that prairie. Find it. Then maybe make it clap. Slowly lower. Maybe a little toe tap. Gently release. Inhale as you peel chest forward, find length. And exhaling forward, fold it. Here we go. This is the final standing sequence. But remember, chair pose. Bend in both knees, both arms sweep. We started with some core work. Shift weight into the big toe mounts. Heels lift. Slowly lower it down. Knees open wide, reach your arms straight through. Gently take a seat, foot your feet, and knees can stay bent. Over time, actually, you can straighten through the legs, but it's really hard. Also, feel free. You can straighten through the legs. You can always add blocks
I'm thinking most people are stuck at home and most people don't have props, so feel free to use props whenever they call in. All right, here we go. I'm not gonna go on a big tirade this time. Inhale as you extend. Exhales to lift. Knees to the right, hands to the left. Inhale to extend. Exhales to lift. Knees to the left, hands to the right. Inhale to extend. Exhales to lift. Back through center. One more round. Inhale to extend. Exhales to lift. Knees to the right, hands to the left. Inhale to extend. Exhales to lift. Knees to the left, hands to the right. Inhale to extend. Exhales to lift. Back through center. Lower hold. Here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hug your knees inserts. Take some rocks. Feet will come wide. Reach your arms through. Arrive in your Navasana squat. Elbows inner thighs. Press the elbows into the inner thighs. And broaden across the collarbones. All right, so again, feel free to just step the right foot back. I would recommend, again, just little baby weights to start, right? Most people, when they go to do the bench press and whatnot, they start out with maybe just the bar, right? They don't pack on those weights right away, right? They maybe add like one disc, maybe another. So, and this is why I think so often in our minds we think, oh, I'll never be able to do that, because you see someone doing like the press handstand, and you're like, how did they get there? And it seems magical, but it's a gradual buildup. So you're slowly putting on more weight, but it's all internal. So you're using your own body as a weight system. So slowly work with where you're at. Roll out those wrists. Gotta love the wrists. Gemini aspect. All right, and now try some of the Cosmo Push-Ups. And when we do come back out into real life and gyms open up again, do some Vipassana push-ups on the Bosu ball. It's so funny. It's like one of my favorite things is the Vipassana push-up or the Titivasana push-up on the Bosu ball in the gym. It just blows people's minds. You should check out what some Cirque du Soleil performers are doing with that. All right, anyways, here we go. Knees come high up and in towards the armpits. Imagine Gemini. Leaning forward, lifting one or both feet. Again, deep bend in the elbows, and then straighten out. Draw your knees high up and in. Kick heels towards seat. Lower. And lift. Lower and tuck chin. Very crown to ground. Gently set it down. Float those hips up. Roll the hips up. Legs extend up. And again, find that central core. So you're building that central core, the energy swirling around it like a spear. All of the muscles engaging, surrounding the vertebral column like a shield. And then, of course, knees come high up and in towards the armpits. Press down through the shins. Float the head up. Rise up. Shift weight into your left shin. Right leg lifts. Extend. Optional, optional, optional. Step the right foot way back. Left foot steps between the palms. Inhale as you rise, high crescent pose. Both arms sweep up. And again, pitch the heart forward. You can, if you want to, extend the arms forward too. Even more core conductivity, strength. Press up, lift up, launch yourself forward. Warrior 3. Spiral the inner right thigh up towards the ceiling. Push out through the heel, reach out through the crown. Oh yeah, we had to get all the warriors in. 1, 2, and 3. Root to rise, come to stand. Draw your right knee into your chest, left hand to left hip. Right peace sign fingers and thumb, catch right big toe. Extend the right leg forward. You can work with the bend knee if you need, yogis. Now open the right leg out to the right. Maybe grow tree branch to the left. You can see how the masculine and feminine complement each other and our ability to hold space. But when you have flexibility, you're able to hold more space in these standing postures. Right leg comes back through the center. Left hand reaches across. Catch the outer edge of the knee or outer edge of the foot. Reach your right hand back and twist. We take the standing postures to heat things up. Right, just like heating up the iron like a blacksmith, back through to center. And it's this ongoing unearthing, because as you heat things up, you may not be able to hold that much space, but over a prolonged period of time, slowly lower. And consistently using the heat that you create to open up space, bringing it down to the floor towards the end of the practice, and opening up that space, you take it back up into standing postures, and you consistently hold more and more space. Press it up, lift it up, root to rise. Come to stand. Release the foot. Hands to hips or grow branches here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Sweep the right leg back. Warrior 3 again. Let's pump some iron. Bending in the left knee. Getting in those squats and straighten. Don't want small calves. Slowly lower. Just kidding. And lift. Now bend in the left knee. Step the right foot way back high. Crescent. Inhale. Both arms sweep. Exhale. Hands come down to the mat. Walk the left foot to the left. In a few hip circles. Ease into this space. Gently set the right knee down. Untuck the toes. Forearms can lower. Ease into the hip stretch. Nod the hips from side to side. Left hand can come to the left knee. Gaze over the left shoulder. Come onto the fleshy part of the right knee. Bend right knee, reach back with the left hand for your right foot, press heel towards seat. So it's not like you are predestined to your natal chart. It just lets you know what you already identify heavily with. Gently release. Walk left foot back through midline. And this is kind of another misnomer I think about astrology that I'd like to dispel. Is, you know, if you have a bad Mars placement, where maybe you have too much Mars and you tend to become angry easily even when Mars isn't retrograde, slide left foot forward, walk right foot back. And hopefully you're beginning to see how you can work with alchemy to adjust, right? And to adapt, to evolve. So that's like one of my biggest pet peeves is when people use their natal chart as a cop-out for their behavioral patterns. That's the worst. And don't do that, because then people are turned off by astrology. They're like, oh, come on, really? You're gonna blame your sun, your moon, or your rising on that behavioral pattern? I mean, yes, of course our natal chart is going to have an effect on how we interact with the holographic projected reality, but you don't have to be a slave to your natal chart. You can transition, you can transmute, you can transform. When you're ready, rebending in the left knee, and walk the left foot behind your right wrist. Release the left knee behind the left wrist. And that is my intention with this series, and also with the Zodiac series, is so that you can become familiar with all of these different concepts. And you can see and kind of flesh out. Hopefully you've looked at your natal chart by now. And you can see how you have certain characteristic traits that are very much influenced by these different configurations in the night sky when you were born. But again, you don't have to resign yourself to that configuration. And we should all work towards Ophiuchus, which is actually a constellation forming between Scorpio and Sagittarius, the serpent bearer. So, and this involves becoming aware of all the different signs and embodying their positive aspects. And same too with all the different planetary bodies. They're all archetypes, and so none of these beings and a lot of these planets are named after gods should be worshipped as something outside of itself. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is we can learn how to embody and instill within us the positive aspects, and sometimes we can see even how the negative aspects can be redirected and transmuted into positive aspects, and therefore we can optimize our ability to conduct Kundalini energy, the divine serpent, up the spine and out through crown. All right, so those of you that took the arm balance, Again, this is already, we're starting to see the union between Mars and Venus, masculine and feminine. So if you don't have a really open half pigeon yet, this arm balance might actually be inaccessible for a time, but be patient, wait for things to open up. Right foot can slide forward, left ankle stacks on top of right thigh, hands plant, make a shelf with your arms. Hard flex in the left foot, hold on to your right deltoid. Maybe you stay here, feel free to hang out here for as long as you need. Maybe lean weight forward, maybe float the right leg up. Maybe gently set down, take it up into your tripod headstand. Squeeze legs together at the top, reach out to the balls of the feet. Another phallic posture. Slowly lower left ankle on top of the right thigh, bending the right knee. Draw the left shin high up and in, like a crane lift. Set it down, extend the right leg back, float it up. Grunts up, and set back down. Whew. Well done, yogis. Start to walk the hands back in. And tuck the back toes. Lift the right knee up. Slide the left leg to the right and set the left hip down. Walk the hands to the left. Right forearm lowers and gently twist. What's kind of fun too is as you are able to connect the Kundalini energy up through the chakra system, I say dharana, concentration, right? This continuous strength, being able to continuously send energy through your central axis, will lend itself towards being able to witness the wisdom of all your past lives, right? So not only are we engaging the bandhas, but we're also conducting the breath as it flows through the cardiovascular system to extrapolate information about our mind-body matrix. And then we're able to see it as we gaze at the space between the eyebrows. Walk the hands back into center. And I know it's kind of up to, it's a skeptical topic of reincarnation, but and everybody sees something different, but I was not expecting to be able to see all my past lives as male and female, so I was like, oh, so that's what I look like as a dude. Start to walk the hands back in. Like I said, we have both the masculine and the feminine. And according to yogic philosophy, we reincarnate based upon what we need to better assimilate and evolve. So if we are empathizing or identifying too much as the masculine, then sometimes we may be reincarnated back in as a female. Press up, lift up. Right foot swings down, right arm extends forward. So we can find that balance. Roll the right shoulder back. Getting really mystical. If you're with me to the end, I like to get extra mystical towards the end. Maybe float the left foot and pulse here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Catch the foot, reach it forward towards front of the room. Release, rebend left knee, right hand plant, sweep the left leg up and back. Return to the outer of the right foot, get light in your left hand. Roll your left hip, your left shoulder to stack. Maybe left foot steps back behind. Press down through both feet, lift the hips up. Maybe full Urdhva Dhanurasana, upward facing bow. Invite the bend, fully supported by the masculine. And roll it back into your downward facing dog pose. Vinyasa, if it's pleasing, yogis. Lift the heels, bend the knees, roll the spine forward into your plank pose. Inhale. Exhale, walk through chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog pose. From downward facing, knees to mat, hips to heels. Child's pose for a few breaths. Rolling the spine up through to seated. I'm going to do one more round of soft kriya, Kapalabhati, breath of fire with Vajrasana. If you're comfortable with it, you can always take a comfortable cross-legged position. Tuck those toes, 6 feet on top of your heels. So again, going along with the symbol, the glyph of Mars, we want to send that energy like a spear out through crown. Sweep the hands out and up, interlace all of the fingers except for the index finger and thumb. Inhale deeply through the nose. Open the mouth, pant like a dove.
Take that up into your nose. And inhale deeply. Exhale, side out the mouth, let it go. Walk the hands forward, untuck your toes. Gentle drum, walk your feet up. Windshield wiper the heels, fingertips point towards your knees, and lean your way back. Slowly peel the heels of the hands up off of the mat. So Scorpio is considered to be the obstacle remover. It's a little bit more intelligent. Maybe Aries just kind of comes in a little bit rambunctious and impulsive. Walk your hands back, lift your knees up, maybe lift up on top of the toe knuckles. And also we have Ganesha as the obstacle remover, is the Hindu avatar associated with root chakra. Slowly lower back down. But do remember that you are the remover. You are removing your own obstacles by engaging in this rearrangement of your elements. Walk the hands forward, tabletop pose. Tuck the toes, hips lift up and back, downward facing dog pose. So again, one last opportunity to take it up into your handstand. Work a slow, controlled descent down into seated. You can also just step to the front of the mat and take a seat. So many options. Lifting the heels, bending the knees, and pounce. Again, give into that bestial nature. Utilize it for good to redirect it inwards. And then maybe while you're here, a couple leg lifts. Gotta love the pump. Sending that energy. And then maybe a pike, butt back, feet forward. Slowly lower. And take a seat. Whew. Slide the flesh the bum out from underneath. Inhale as you sweep the hands out and up. Exhale, forward fold it. Again, you can grab a wrist. You can grab opposite elbows. And rolling the spine back up through to seated. Draw your knees in. Soles of the feet come together, knees out wide. Scoot hips towards heels. Hands underneath the feet. Press the elbows into the inner thighs. Inhale as you find length. Exhale, forward fold it. And rolling the spine back up through to seated. Draw your knees together and roll down onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice warm embrace, rocking gently from side to side. Soles of the feet come to the mat, hips distance apart. Pressing down to lift up, roll the spine up. You can take bridge pose, hands come behind the back, interlace, draw shoulder blades together, press chest towards chin. Or maybe, those of you who would like to, you can take it up, forward, put on your asana, hands alongside the ears. Press it up, lift it up. Maybe coming up to stand. Again, use your legs as that jet propulsion to pull you up. Taking it back down again, give myself a little space. Hips forward, core stays engaged. Optional, maybe chakrasana. Again, arms are super strong. And back up again. Again, can't mention Scorpio without throwing into Scorpio. Here's your opportunity, Scorpios, for handstand scorpion. This is if you've been practicing your handstand throughout the practice. Take that tail super long and straight, and then bend it and reach for your Shiva button. Tuck the chin, back of the head to the mat first, and slowly release it down. Feel free to take multiple rounds to the Ashtangis.
They go crazy. You're like 5 drop backs and 5 chakrasanas. I'm gonna show up the knees from side to side. Of course, honor your body and tune in. Balance the masculine and the feminine. Hug the right knee and extend your left leg out. Scoot the hips to the right, draw the right knee over to your left. Stack right hip on top of the left hip. Ladies too, right? It's important to build this divine masculine. That's something that's kind of perplexed me too with the spiritual community. How do you expect to find the divine masculine counterpart, significant other, soulmate, twin flame, whatever you want to call it, without first finding that energy within yourself? So let that, if you do have that desire, let that desire drive you to actually create, to manifest the divine masculine within yourself. Back through the center, hug the right knee in, maybe a half happy baby, maybe a leg behind the head. Gently release and switch. Hug the left knee in, extend the right leg out, scoot the hips to the left, draw the left knee to the right, stack the left hip on top of the right hip, roll the left shoulder down to the ground, breathe into your lower back. Amazing. Back through the center. Half happy baby. And same thing goes for the dudes too. If you want to be able to hold space for the divine feminine, right? The energetic healer, the woman that is standing in her power, and you better be able to connect to the divine masculine within yourself, right? Half happy baby, maybe leg behind the head. I'm not talking about the old, archaic, current paradigm way of actually doing a bunch of bicep curls, and I'm not saying anything that I actually love to do free weight training to supplement my practice, but you can see how that can be to our detriment when you create too much masculine in the wrong places. Gently release. And who you attract is really exemplary of what energy is going on inside of you, inside your own vessel. Hug both knees in, drop the elbows in, extend the legs straight up. Pressing down for the upper arms, engage your core, shoulder stand. And then maybe lower the feet down, Halasana. Interlace. Press chest towards chin. You can bend the knees around the ears, air squeeze. Gently release, slow roll the spine down. Matsyasana fish. Press down to the forearms, lift the chest up. Crown the head to the mat. And release, happy baby. Maybe Dvaipada, Shirshasana, if it is accessible. Slowly chiseling away at those samskaras. Amazing work today, yogis. Gently release and extend the legs out. Feet flop open, palms face up. Closing the eyes. Mars also associated with our first breath and our bodies, the very body that we're born with, and the karmas, the inventory of karmic debris that we have within our auric field. Everyone take a nice deep inhalation in through the nose. And exhale, sigh out the mouth, let it go. Redirecting this animalistic, bestial energy inwards for the benefit of all beings. Instead of repressing, utilizing this energy to reconstruct the temple and send that energy straight up through crown. The highest light within me truly sees and honors the highest light within each and every one of you. I thank you for your practice and your presence. Thank you on behalf of all beings for holding space. Namaste.